The state of Nevada is a land of dust, heat, and empty space. It is a place of endless horizons and sun-bleached rock. But 200 million years ago, this was the bottom of a deep prehistoric ocean. In a place now called Berlin Ichthyosaur State Park, there is a graveyard that has baffled geologists for decades. It is a bone bed containing the remains of at least 9 massive marine reptiles known as shonosaurs. These were the titans of their era. They were the size of a school bus, with long, tooth-filled snouts and powerful flippers. They were the apex predators of the Triassic and Cretaceous seas. But when you look at how they died, the whole picture becomes unsettling. They weren't killed by a storm. They weren't killed by a mass stranding. They were found in a specific rhythmic arrangement. Their vertebrae, the heavy bones of their spines, were laid out in 2 parallel rows. They looked like art, or perhaps like the sucker discs on the tentacle of a giant cephalopod. Tonight, we are treading into the darkness of prehistoric nature. We are looking at the cold reality of the Cretaceous Kraken, a predator that science says could not exist, yet the fossil remains say it was here. Welcome to the portal, where myths, nightmares, and mysteries are just one step away. My name is Epoch, and I will be your guide. To preserve the light, we must first face the dark. In 2011, a paleontologist named McMenamin stood in that Nevada desert and looked at the shonosaur bones. He noticed something that everyone else had missed. The bones were not scattered by currents, they were placed. McMenamin proposed a theory that sent a shockwave through the scientific community. He suggested that these 9-ton reptiles had been hunted, killed, and dragged to a specific location by an intelligence far greater than any reptile. He proposed a Triassic or Cretaceous Kraken. Imagine an octopus, but on a scale that defies biology. Modern octopuses are already the aliens of our world. They have 3 hearts. They have blue, copper-based blood. They have a distributed brain where each arm can think for itself. They are masters of camouflage, and they are famous for creating middens. A midden is a trash heap. An octopus will kill its prey, eat the soft tissue, and then arrange the bones and shells outside its lair. It is a signature. McMenamin argued that the Nevada bone bed was a kraken midden, that a cephalopod over 100 feet long had been picking shonosaurs out of the water, snapping their necks and bringing them home to play with their bones. It was an architect of the abyss. How does an octopus kill a bus-sized reptile? Because octopuses have no skeleton, they are silent hunters. They can squeeze their massive bodies into the smallest crevices of the sea floor. They don't chase their prey, they wait. Using hyper-advanced camouflage, the kraken would have looked like a part of the reef, a regular spot in the water. When the shonosaur swam past, the kraken would have lanced out with a tentacle the size of a redwood tree. It didn't use teeth, it used suction and leverage. It would wrap around the reptile's snout or its neck and simply twist, a mechanical destruction of the spine. It was a selective hunter. It didn't want the whole body, it wanted the soft parts. And then there was the beak. At the center of every octopus is a massive, black, chitinous beak. It is the only hard part of their body. On a Cretaceous Kraken, that beak would have been the size of a refrigerator. It could crush bone like it was dry wood. It would open up the reptile in a single, wet crunch. It is a logic-defying predator. It combines the invisibility of a ghost with the crushing power of a hydraulic press. If you have watched this far, remember to subscribe, like, and comment. What would you like to see next? Critics of McMenamin's theory have one major argument. Where is the fossil? If a 100-foot-long octopus existed, why haven't we found its body? The answer is the ultimate issue of paleontology. Octopuses are made of soft tissue. They do not have bones. When they die, they dissolve. Within weeks, their massive bodies are consumed by the sea, leaving nothing behind but their beaks. And the beaks are often mistaken for other things, or they are lost in the vastness of the deep-sea sediment. The kraken is a ghost predator. We can only see it by looking at the breadcrumbs it left behind. We see the arrangement of the bones. We see the fractures in the ribs that don't match any other predator. We see the midden. Some scientists suggest the kraken was even more sinister. They suggest it was intelligent enough to use the bones as art. In the Nevada bed, the vertebrae are arranged in a way that looks like a portrait of the kraken's own tentacle. It was archiving its kills. It was telling a story in a language of bone that would wait 100 million years to be read. The idea grew old. People called it absurd since there was no proof other than this looks like something we know. But technology, on the other hand, kept moving forward, and with new 3D scanning techniques and modern hardware, the nightmare became a reality. What felt like fiction came to life. In 2026, the very year this video is being published, fossils were found, both in Vancouver Island and Japan, in Cretaceous deposits. Research is still ongoing, and so is the debate between scientists. Massive beaks were found that pointed out into one direction. This kraken was real, an ancient cephalopod, an octopus instead of a squid, named Nanaimoteuthis haggerti, lived between 100 and 72 million years ago. Paleontologists estimate that, based on the size of these massive jaws, the biggest specimen found so far would have been about 60 feet or 18 meters in length. For comparison, the biggest giant squid we've found so far is around 43 feet or 13 meters. That means that the Cretaceous Kraken was about 50% bigger than the massive cephalopods of our time. This size already makes it capable of competing with apex predators of the time, like the Shonosaurus. While some paleontologists are still debating the true size of these beasts, calling the biggest estimates extreme, we know our oceans can breed truly enormous creatures, and current fossils are still just a few, which makes our knowledge about the beast limited.
The Cretaceous Kraken left only one part of its body behind, and perhaps we will never know the exact dimensions of this fascinating animal. But as technology advances and we find more fossils, maybe, just maybe, we will find an even bigger, true titan of the ancient seas.
We tread in the darkness of the Cretaceous Kraken because it reminds us that the ocean is a vast and mysterious place. We think we have mapped the world. We think we know the apex predators, but 70% of our planet is covered in a mystery of water. In 1997, the NOAA recorded a sound in the South Pacific. It was called the bloop. It was a low-frequency, high-intensity, organic sound that was heard across sensors thousands of miles apart. It was too loud to be a blue whale. It was too rhythmic to be an ice quake. Many believe the bloop was the sound of a modern kraken, a descendant of the Nevada monster still living in the pole of inaccessibility, or Point Nemo. Modern giant squids are already massive, and some even claim they could reach 60 feet, but there is no proof of that yet. Who is to say that in the deepest, unsearched trenches there isn't something larger, something that still takes its prey and arranges the remains in the dark? Nature doesn't delete its most successful designs, it just hides them. The bones in Nevada have been turned to stone. The sea is gone. The midden is now a tourist attraction. But the beaks, the jaws were found. We look at the Cretaceous Kraken and we see the apex of biological horror, an invisible giant, an intelligent monster, a selective killer. If you ever find yourself on a boat and total silence takes hold and you see a spot in the water that shouldn't be there, look away, because beneath you, 100 feet of distributed brain might be deciding how to arrange your bones. Thank you for treading in the shadows with me today. If you found this deep dive into the architect of the abyss important, subscribe and join our community. Good night and stay on the dry land.
Let us now step back into the portal and go to our segment of time and space. If you would like to see a longer video about what we went through today, or if you would like to see another specific video, leave it in the comments. Feel free to check any of our previous voyages on screen. My name was Epoch, and I will see you again on one side or the other. Farewell.